And now a warm welcome to Rabbi Tuvia Aharonson, who will guide us through this week's Torah portion. Thanks so much for coming in.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here, Natasha. Thank you for having me, and hello to all the viewers out there.
So to begin, why don't you tell us about our weekly parasha?
Okay, so we're in Parashat Re'eh in the book of Dvarim, Deuteronomy, and it starts off with one of the most evocative verses, I think, in the whole Torah. It says, Re'eh anochi noten lifnechem hayom bracha v'klala. It says Re'eh. The parasha is called See. It gives us a new vision of our lives. It gives us a new perspective, a new take on what our mission is here in this world, what we're supposed to do in our time here. It says Re'eh anochi. It means see that I am giving you, but there's a Hasidic reinterpretation. Re'eh anochi. See the I. Know who you really are. Know why you are here. What's your purpose? What's your mission? What are you supposed to accomplish here? Noten lifnechem hayom. I'm giving to you today. It's about being present. If you want to know your purpose in this world, you have to be very focused on where you are right now. That doesn't mean forget the past or the future. Rav Kook, the first Ashkenazi chief rabbi of Israel, he said, those who are deeply connected to their past and passionately yearn for the future allow great light to enter into their souls in the present. It's a beautiful line that I think reflects that we have to be in the moment, but using the past as fuel to develop visions for the future. Now, Rabbi Nachman says, Hayom im bekolot tishma'u, we say it every Friday night in our Kabbalat Shabbat. It's in Psalms 95. If you want to hear the voice of God speaking to you, it has to be Hayom, in the moment. It has to be in the moment. So it's to visualize our lives in the present moment, and then bracha, blessing. And then it gets to the blessing. What is a blessing? There's a few interpretations. One is that a bracha is about bonding and connecting to the divinity. That means to actualize godliness in our lives. Rabbi David Aaron has a nice phrase. He says, we're not only supposed to spiritualize the material, we're supposed to materialize the spiritual. We're supposed to manifest our values and our ethics in our lives. That's one interpretation. Bracha meaning dvekut, bonding, connecting. Another one is, bracha is hamshacha, lehavrich, to graft or to bring down a branch. In other words, to bridge heaven and earth. One more is bracha, is in the first blessing of the entire Torah, is for the fish to expand and to move out. So what we're supposed to do to create blessing in this world is to expand our spiritual reach in life. And
well, my question for you is, what is the big message that we see from this week's parasha?
So I'll get to the rest of the parasha, but I think this introduction is really crucial. The word bracha, if we use the first mention in the Torah as the center of meaning of the word, it means to expand. So what we have in this parasha is, until now in Dvarim, we had a very big picture relationship with God issues that Moshe is giving to the people. And after 7 verses in this parasha, it begins with detailed, specific mitzvot. For the majority of the book of Dvarim, we're talking about action, bringing the values and the connection into action. And the first thing it mentions is Yerushalayim, having a central place. You believe in one God, that's great. But now actualize that by having a place where you all focus to in your prayers. When we face Jerusalem, when we pray, what we're doing is we're enacting our belief in unity, in ultimate unity, by creating unity in our focus of our prayers, and by excluding other spaces and other idolatrous worship that creates fragmentation in our beliefs. And then it moves on to a series of mitzvot. For example, tzedakah, giving of charity in this week's parasha. And in this week's portion, by the way, it says the word bracha, I think 12 times, the root of bracha. And also with giving tzedakah. When we give charity, we're actualizing our belief that this world deserves to be a righteous, just, tzedek, justice-filled environment. What we're saying is I'm not just giving you a gift when I give tzedakah. I'm creating unity in this world between the giver and the receiver. I'm creating bond. I'm creating new blessing. And in fact, then we move on towards the end of the parsha to the holidays, and when the entire people is supposed to pilgrim together, to journey together, as one, creating unity and blessing.
So, we're soon going to be approaching the month Elul. Can you tell us about this month?
Absolutely. I think it's really perfectly designed that we always read this parasha on the cusp of Elul. So Elul, this last month of the year before Rosh Hashanah, is a time for perspective, for connecting our minds, our eyes, re'eh, and our hearts in a way that creates a new reality in our own lives and in the life of the world around us. What do I mean by that? I mean that when we approach this end of the year, not only can we collect all of the good points of light, all the blessings, all the mitzvot, all the tzedakah, all the unity and the bonding and the connection that we've created in the past year, we create a vessel in this month to receive all the blessing, all the bracha from the previous year. And then that creates fuel for the future. You see, when you have a vessel, usually when it's full, if you put any more in it, it spills out. But spiritual vessels just constantly expand with us. And when we reflect on this past year, and we say, what happened this year? How did I impact the world? What is my place in this world? Not only do we do self-reflection, it actually builds fuel for growth and change. Rosh Hashanah, Shana is the year, but it also is Shinui. How do I change my perspective? How do I get more precise in my eyes, re'iyah, re'eh, the parsha? How do I see myself in this world in a more precise way? How do I create more blessing in my life and life around me? Now, usually, we say that the month of Elul, ani lidodi v'dodi li. I am to my beloved, and my beloved is to me. And for anybody who's engaged or on the cusp of a new marriage, it's talking about ani lidodi v'dodi li. The month of Elul is about connecting and bonding between lovers. But it also has another abbreviation, Elul. Et levavcha ve'et levav zarecha. Elul, your hearts and the hearts of your children. So it's about connection with our lovers, our connection with our children, and ish l're'ehu v'matanot le'evyonim. Elul, about friends and connecting with friends. You see, when we want to create intimacy in this world, the month of Elul is about creating new intimacy. When we create new intimacy, it's sometimes easier with people beyond our circle, our immediate circle. I'm riding on the train on the way here, and I saw some people, and part of me says, okay, give them their space, I'll take my space, but why not smile, create a new bond? It's easier sometimes than reflecting on the intimacy I have in my own immediate circle, with my spouse, with my children, with my friends. And so this month is about reflecting on not only my place in this world, but my place vis-a-vis my close relationships. How do I make my relationships even more renewed, more energetic, more loving and giving, bonding, connecting? And ultimately, that will lead us towards Shana Tova U'Mituka, a beautiful, sweet new year that's coming up.
Yeah, well, I think that's something that we all need to focus on doing. Thank you so much for coming in, Rabbi.
No, it's a pleasure. And Shabbat Shalom and Chodesh Tov to you and all the viewers.
Shabbat Shalom.